Unity SF to 44321. I think that's pretty good. What do you think, Kay?
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everything and everyone must change. Nothing and no one stays the same. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. except rain comes from the clouds and sun lights up the sky and the hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring and a wounded heart will heal. But never much too soon. Everything must change. The young become old, and mysteries they do unfold. 'Cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure, except rain comes from the clouds, a sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds they do fly. Sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Everything must
Join me. Thank you, Misa Malone. We've started this new tradition to get you up from hospitality into the room. We're doing prelude music. 'Cause, for those of you online, the hospitality downstairs, even before service, is rocking. There's a whole party going on downstairs. So to get everybody up here and in their seats for 11 o'clock, we've decided we have to give them a musical number.
A little incentive.
A little incentive to go.
And it won't always be me. There will be other blessings. Beautiful musical treats from members of your community. So you don't want to miss it. You need to be up here like, 10:50-ish.
Yeah. So, hi, Misa. Misa's
Hi,
gonna
Ken.
and Tyler are both gonna be my platform assistants today. I'm so glad you're all here. Woo! And we're gonna jump right in. There's so much going on in the world. I'm grateful to be having a celebration service today. And I am keenly aware of the pain that is happening on the planet at the same time. So Misa's going to talk to us about, she learned the Ukrainian national anthem, okay, in Ukrainian, right? But most importantly, I want you to hear the English translation. Can you tell us about it, Misa?
So the English translation of, well, actually the state anthem of Ukraine is actually based on a poem. And I found out that that poem was actually used not only as the basis of the Ukrainian anthem, but also the Polish and the Yugoslavian. And the literal translation of Ще не вмерла Україна is, Ukraine's freedom has not yet perished, nor has her glory. Upon us, fellow Ukrainians, fate shall smile once more. Our enemies will vanish like dew in the sun, and we too shall rule, brothers, in a free land of our own. We'll lay down our souls and bodies to attain our freedom. And we'll show that we, brothers, are of the Cossack nation. And I don't know if you've been watching the news, but they have been laying down, they have been living into their anthem. So to honor them, national anthems are kind of my thing for those of y'all who know me. I did learn their anthem, and I would like to honor them. Unity San Francisco would like to honor the proud people of Ukraine as they stand and fight for their homes and their freedoms.
I invite you also to stand with them right now.
Ще не вела Україні ні слава, ні воля. Ще нам, браття Олоїні, усміхнеться доля. Зінуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці. Запануєм і ми, браття, у своїй сторонці. Душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми, браття козацького роду.
We know in this moment that as we stand, we are taking a stand for something that is larger than us, something that is human. And on the planet right now, we stand for peace and justice, for love prevailing over hate and violence. We stand for love being all, and that all people can come together to live in freedom, in peace, in community. We stand together in this moment and rise with all the peoples of the world as they are oppressed. Rise with all people of the world as they are separated from their loved ones. And rise with all people of the world as they demand their autonomy. We rise together.
I won't just survive. Oh, you will see me thrive. Can't write my story. I'm beyond the archetype.
I won't just conform, no matter how you shake my core, 'cause my roots, they run deeper.
Oh, you have so little faith.
Don't doubt it, don't doubt it.
Victory is in my veins,
I know it, I know it.
and I will not negotiate.
I'll fight it, I'll fight it. I will
Transform.
When the fire's at my feet again, and the vultures all start circling, they're whispering, you're out of time, but still I rise.
There is no mistakes, no accidents. When you think the final
Nail is in, think again. Don't be surprised, I will still rise.
I must stay conscious through the madness and chaos. So I call on my angels, and they say, oh, you have so little faith.
Don't doubt it, don't doubt it.
Victory is in my veins,
You know it, you know it.
and I will not negotiate.
Just fight it, and be transformed. 'Cause when the fire's at your feet again, and the vultures all start circling, they're whispering, you're out of time, but still I rise. This is no mistake, no.
still rise.
Don't be surprised.
I will still rise.
In this moment, we know that we can stay awake to the next right step that we need to take, to stand in our truth, in our convictions, and stand with the people of the world. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Namaste. Come on up, Tyler. So welcome everyone. It is far too easy to fall asleep to the troubles of the world. And I just wanted to take this moment to start by the reminder of what it means to stand with and to stand up. And we have some fun for you ahead too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we can do both. We can do both today.
Right.
So Tyler, say
Right.
our welcomes to everybody.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. One of the things that the Unity Movement brings to the world is affirmations. The divinity is already right within each of us and every creature. And then we approach prayer with an affirming the good method. So just as we have done with Ukraine, affirming their freedom in the face of information and statistics and data and facts, we still affirm freedom, but also with individuals, with you, with me, if there is anything on your heart that is the pushing forth of the blossom of freedom within your life, then join with us. We would love to join with you with the power of agreement, with affirmative prayer. So you can go to our website, you can click a prayer request, and on that prayer request form, you can even indicate if you'd like a phone call or just an email typed prayer emailed back to you. Or neither of those, we would then receive the email, the prayer chaplains say a prayer with you at a distance electronically, but also on the spiritual connection card, you can fill out a prayer request. You can also meet with the prayer chaplain right after service. If you see any of us wearing this white stole during hospitality or at any time, please interrupt us. We'd rather take that moment of a spiritual place of power to agree with you about your freedom. And in this way, we join together, we build community. We believe in the good in each of us. And also, I want to draw your attention to the bulletin, to the spiritual connection card. If you don't already have a bulletin, just raise your hand, and the ushers have bulletins for you. But let us know who you are and how you found out about Unity San Francisco. Like I mentioned, there's a place for a prayer request on there if there's something on your mind. You're going to drop this into the offering basket later, and after the service, we'll have some spiritual practices to consider together. But this is another way that we connect and express our oneness and our coming together as community. If you're a first-time guest on this connection card, just let us know. If you're a first-time guest here in the sanctuary, let us know. We have gifts for you right out here in the foyer at the top of the stairs. If you're visiting with us electronically, filling out a spiritual connection card on the website, let us know that you're a first-time guest. We'd love to send you something electronically, a little token of love. Again, more ways to express our oneness and love for each other. Another thing that we do is we lift our voice in song with a heart filled with faith. So I invite the music team to come up, and we're going to sing together. But if you're viewing with us online, this is your chance to go to our website, because right after this song, we're going to have this interactive meet and greet, both here in the sanctuary and on the computer in the Zoom room. So if you're viewing online live, go to our website and click Spiritual Salon. But right now, here in the sanctuary and at home, stand as you're willing and able. Let's lift our voice with song as we sing together, Expect a Miracle.
Yes.
You may remember this from last week.
Microphone. You may remember this from last week. We sang it as the closing song, and it had such good energy, we figured, well, let's get them to sing along with us.
I'm looking for a miracle. I expect the impossible, and I feel the intangible, and I see the invisible. I'm looking for a miracle. I expect the impossible, and I feel the intangible, and I see the invisible. The sky is the limit to what I can have. The sky is the limit to what I can have. The sky is the limit to what I can have. Just believe and receive it. Affirm it will happen today. Hey, hey. Just believe and receive it. Affirm it will happen today. I'm looking for a miracle. I expect the impossible, and I feel the intangible, and I see the invisible. I'm looking for a miracle. I expect the impossible, and I feel the intangible, and I see the invisible. The sky is the limit to what I can have. The sky is the limit to what I can have.
Say it like you mean it this morning, y'all. Hey.
The sky is the limit to what I can have. Just believe and receive it. Affirm it will happen today. Hey, hey. Just believe and receive it. Affirm it will happen today.
Here we go.
I expect a miracle every day. I affirm there is a way, always a way. I expect a miracle every day. I affirm there is a way, always a way.
I expect a miracle.
I expect a miracle every day.
There is a way.
Always a way.
I expect a miracle.
I expect a miracle every day.
There is a way.
Always a way. I expect a miracle every day. I affirm there is a way, always a way. I expect a miracle every day. I affirm there is a way, always a way. Just believe and receive it. Affirm it will happen today. Hey, hey. Just believe and receive it. Affirm it will happen today. I expect a miracle every day. I affirm there is a way, always a way. I expect a miracle every day. I affirm there is a way, always a way. I expect a miracle every day. I affirm there is a way, always a way. I expect a miracle every day. I affirm there is a way, always a way.
All right, we've reached our time of meet and greet. Please greet your friend with a handshake, a hug, a foot, a toe tap,
Test,
a
test, test,
butt
test.
bump, whatever they feel comfortable
Test,
with.
test.
Happy Sunday.
Mine's still not on.
I'm just gonna keep doing the tambourine right across the bar. Get it. Great. Thank you. All right. Tyler, take it. Tyler.
All right, we're going to mute everybody online. Thank you for being here with us.
Do you wanna do a
And we're
mic
going to
check?
take our seats. Everybody
Let's do
will
a
have
mic
more
check.
time for social hour afterwards. Let's go back to Ken on the stage.
Hey there, everybody. All right, while everybody's settling down in the room, we're going to do a quick mic check here for the three singers. Testing.
I expect a miracle.
Every day I affirm there is a way, always a way. I expect a miracle. Every day I affirm there is a way, always a way.
Let's hear it for our band and our singers, everybody. One more time. Woo! Always a way. I expect unexpected miracles. So we're going to do, our next section is reading from our book here, the Release and Renew 2022. It's in the seats in front of you. We've mailed them to everyone who's a regular attendee here, right? And I'm opening this to you so you can read along with us if you want. What page is it, Misa? Misa's going to come up and read
Page
us.
32.
It's a Lenten reflection book about releasing and renewing every step of the way. And Garrett, this is a program note. I'm noticing there's a black bar right in the center of the Zoom room screen, so they can't see as well. So when you have a second, if you can fix that. So it's Release and Renew. You may have it at home. We mailed it to people who follow us all across the country. And if you'd like one, please let us know. We can always get you one. They're also available at unity.org online. Right? So Misa's going to lead us in today's reading.
Hello, everyone. So today our reading is from Release and Renew. It's on page 32. And the affirmation is, I release any belief in limitation. The Gospel of Luke tells us that when Jesus returned to his hometown of Nazareth and spoke in his synagogue, he was run out of town with the intention to hurl him off a cliff. Those who recognized him from his childhood were filled with rage at his words and would not accept him as a prophet. Jesus could have used this experience as proof that his message would not be well received, and he could have made subsequent choices out of fear. If he had, he would not have lived out his divine purpose. Have you allowed a harsh word or a negative critique from another to limit you from living your divine purpose? Jesus knew there were other audiences who would be receptive to his message, and therefore, the experience in his hometown, he released it and moved forward. He understood that his good was not limited to one location or group. He proceeded to his greater good. Whatever has happened in the past, we can recognize that it was a moment in time that is not necessary to repeat. We can bless the circumstance for the learning it offered and let it go, no matter how painful. So the affirmation is, I release any belief in limitation. Can you know that with conviction with me? All together.
I
release any belief in limitation. I believe you. I affirm it with you. And so it is.
Thank you. Come on up, Carl. So, 10 years ago in New York City, I finished the process of my ministerial education, or so I thought. That's for the second half of the talk. And in New York City, my sponsoring church gave me the ceremony, and this song was sung. I had performed it with them before, and then for my ordination, this is what happened. And I've asked Carl to lead us in it today. It's a Jason Robert Brown song that you may or may not know. It's an obscure Jason Robert Brown song. Carl Pantel, ladies and gentlemen.
I come with my armor emotions in check, thinking I'm smarter or just more realistic. I sit with my frozen smile, all the while reluctant to trust what I'm told. Cynical, cold, challenging music of heaven to open a crack in my chest and let something glorious in. Music of heaven to puncture me suddenly. Blessed, blessed, blessed. Let the music begin. Let the music begin. They sing and they cry and I watch, leaned back in my chair, the classic New Yorker, alone among millions, indifference upon my face, out of place, but longing to feel what you feel, like it was real, like there could be music of heaven to open some path to your soul and let something glorious in. Music of heaven allows you to give up control. Yes, yes, let the music begin. Let the music begin. And I sit there with dry eyes and cold hands, waiting and standing apart. With dry eyes and cold hands, waiting and wondering, when will it open my heart? When will love open my heart? Right now I open my heart. I hear you singing. I hear you singing. I want to say yes, 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 yes. I want to sing. Holy Father, I want to sing. Holy Father, I want to sing. Holy Father, Holy Father, say yes, say yes, say yes. I need to say. I need to cry, yeah. Need to believe. Oh, I will say yes, yes, say yes. I will say yes, say yes, say yes. I want to say yes, say yes, say yes. Oh, I can say yes, yes, yes. Let the music begin. Let the music begin. Let the music begin. Let the music begin.
Carl Pantel, everyone. Woo! classic New Yorker, alone among millions. That was me 20 years ago, alone in my apartment, longing for something else. Not me anymore. And so that song has incredible resonance for me, incredible truth, and partly too because in it the lead sings Holy Father. And when I was raised, Father was God, right? Father, both in my house and in church. Right? Father was God. And when I first heard the term Father, Mother, God, it was mind-blowing. I first heard it in New York in that same apartment when someone showed me the writings of Mary Baker Eddy in Christian Science. And her Lord's Prayer says, Father, Mother, God, adorable one. I was like, oh, there's another way. And then I came to Unity and I heard Father, Mother, God for the first time. And it blew open all the parameters of what I knew about spirituality. And I came to a Unity Church and I understood in a different way the things that I had been longing for my whole life. An understanding of spirituality that went beyond any one religion, but looked at all faiths and the paths they lead to the sacred, to the holy, to the one Father, Mother. It's beyond gender. As we say here, God doesn't have genitals. God is not male or female. God is the energy of life that keeps producing itself over and over. And like the Transcendentalists taught us, that unity came out of transcendentalism mixed with a whole lot of other stuff. But the Transcendentalists taught us that God is not up in the sky. God is everywhere in everything. The animate and the inanimate. There is God. And that has to mean me too. And at the bottom of my life, alone in my apartment in New York, it was really hard to see it, but music always cracked me open, right? And still, to this day, I sat there and listened to this, and I've been at rehearsal, and I was here all morning, and we listened to it, and I sat there just now weeping again, because music can shift us like nothing else. Because it's the thought, it's the words, it's the vibration, it's the repetition of the chord structure. And thank God it resolves, right? And it doesn't always, because life doesn't always resolve. But in that song and in this calling, I know why I'm here. I know why I'm here. 10 years ago, this was me, being laid hands on, standing in my dominion, in my authority in New York City, and accepting my call to ministry. Those are 4 ministers: Paul Hasselbeck, who you know, Paul Tanelia, who used to be the minister here, was the minister there, and some of my friends from school in the background cheering, and my husband cheering me on. And then this was me dancing with their music ensemble after the ordination, which we're going to do some more of too. So some things haven't changed in the last 10 years that I still like to do. But when I look back on it, what a difference a decade makes. And there's studies that show this. If you ask people what your life is going to be like in 10 years, you'll project moderate changes in your life. I'll be doing the same thing, basically. But when you look back 10 years ago, think about it for a second. What were you doing 10 years ago? And what are you doing today? Right? Well, 10 years ago, I was just starting. I wasn't the minister here yet. I was the minister in Fremont. Where's Elaine? There she is. And some people are still with me from that. But before that, I was a licensed teacher in Palo Alto. And I just kept taking the next right baby step along the way. But in that ordination ceremony, like I asked you to stand at the beginning of service, I stood in front of everyone, in front of a whole room, and made commitments to how I would live my life. I did it out loud. I named it and I claimed it. And those of you who've taken one of my courses, you know I make you do that in courses too. I make you say it out loud to the group, where you say what you're going to do, how you're going to behave, and how you expect to be received. Naming and claiming your life is one of the quintessential steps to shifting it, to transforming it. And if you're not happy with some part of your life or something that's going on in your life, naming and claiming is an opportunity to move it from what it is to what it could be. Because as we talk about in Unity 2, and why I love it so much, is when I sat and heard the truth that the universe has unlimited ways of fulfilling your desire. Unlimited ways of filling your desire. It's just you who keeps saying no. That's why that song's so great, because it say yes, yes, yes. So when opportunities come, it's your opportunity to say yes. Now, don't get me wrong. Tiny baby steps are essential, as we talked about last week. When I went to ministerial school, I only went for one semester. I wasn't sure I was going to do it. I had reservations. I was holding myself back. So I went to ministerial school for one semester and see how it would go. Well, it just made logical sense to keep going. And then the next semester, and I fell in love with learning again. And then I was learning what I wanted to learn. And I was taking electives and taking courses that were lighting me up. And the steps got easier to take. They were still incremental. They were still tiny steps. I just took the next course. I took the next term. I took the next step. I went through ordination processes, which is a long, drawn-out process. Because you don't want unqualified people leading your churches. There's enough on the news about that, all right? And I don't need to say anything else about people who shouldn't be in charge of people's well-being. So there's a strict and rigid process before you can get ordained, and that's a good thing. I can't believe it's me saying this, but it's good to go slow. It is good to go slow. Right? And my team is laughing especially hard because I'm the one who's constantly going, change this, do this. Go slow. It's at the same time. So the baby steps, each and every one of them, got me to this place. And then I've quantified all this in my Absolute Abundance course. It's called the 4 Steps of Manifestation. Name and claim you're good. Second step is to take concrete action. It's not good enough just to sit in your chair and say, well, I could do that. I could do that. I'm just not going to do that today. But in my head, I can see myself doing that. You actually have to take the course. You have to stand up. You have to say what you're going to do, and then you have to get up and do it. You have to show up at the rehearsal. You have to show up at the audition. You have to show up at the job interview. You have to show up at, I'm looking at 2 friends here that we met at an adoption agency. And now we sit here a decade later, 2 all parents. And because you took the step that you need to take to get you to where your goal will lead you to. So concrete steps are imperative. We can't sit in lotus position all day long and expect that the world is going to come to us. It will, but my favorite line, as my son tries to sneak in right now. I'm sorry, I've done this section already, Toby, about family, so come on in. You've already been mentioned. Where was I? It was more distracting to have him try and sneak in because I was like, who's like trying to peek around the corner? Welcome, Toby. Welcome, Belle. So glad you're here. Concrete steps. right? Baby steps get you to where you need to be. And they don't have to be monumental. They can be something very, very small. And then the next step is to share your journey, right? I didn't do any of this alone. I'm looking at you, honey. I'm looking at my husband. I didn't do any of this by myself, right? I shared the desire with everyone I trusted. There's the key. I'm not telling you to put it all out on Facebook. I'm not telling you to put it all out on social media. I'm not telling you to put your dreams and your desires out in front of people who won't respect them. But you know the people that you can trust with that stuff. But to share it with them and to take some risks in that, because you have no idea who's going to conspire with you and what they can bring you and what good awaits you along the way. I put it out there, and one by one, all the pieces that I needed fell into place. Some by my husband's great works, some by random chances, and how those kept blessing us is very funny. So when I moved to Kansas City, I had just done a show. I left the show. I was directing and choreographing. I got on a plane. I showed up with my 2 bags. It was the middle of winter in Kansas City, Missouri. And it was still fun. And Kansas City, Missouri in the winter, and I had no transportation. And it is not San Francisco, trust me. And the campus is big. So about halfway through that year, we found me a car. As JD says, he bought me a cheap Escort. Ford Escort. Right? So I had a very cheap Ford Escort, and when I left school, that car was not worthy of driving across country. So we gave it to someone else who was just coming to school, and that car survived another 10 years after I left school, being passed from ministerial student to ministerial student, and you just never know how those blessings are going to ripple out across the world, right? And then the last one is to expect the unexpected. After I was here and working as a minister, after we had adopted Toby, and after Roma was born, I got a call from Unity World headquarters asking if I'd like to be on the board of directors for the whole organization, the worldwide organization. Now, I do a lot of visualizing, and I'm a big proponent of naming and claiming, but nowhere in all my visualizations of what I would do as a minister was board service one of them. So I was just like, me? You want me to serve on the board of directors? I was like, I'm the one who blows things up. And they went, uh-huh. That's why we'd like you to serve on the board of directors. And I was like, okay. So I said no, because Roma had just been born, and Toby was new to our house. Wasn't the time for me to be away. But I said, ask me again next year. And so they came back and they asked again next year. And that year I said yes. Now, fast forward, I'm in my 6th year of serving on the board of directors for Unity World Headquarters. It is a $30 million a year organization, and we manage assets of $100 million. And I sit on the finance committee, I sit on the leadership development and recruitment committee, and I am now for the 3rd year chair of the board of directors. So when they asked me to be chair, I was like, they called me again and said, we'd like you to run for chair. And I was like, oh, no, that's not for me to do. And they were like, no, seriously, we'd like you to run for chair. And I said, well, I think the CEO should pick the chair he wants, but that's they have to work with the CEO. And I said, so who does the CEO want? And they went, he wants you. That's why they're calling. I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, I guess I can say that. Anyway, because I just did. But I was on a phone call with him last week, And he apologized for the workload that all of a sudden had come to me because of some things that are going on there. And I said, Jim, you don't have to apologize. I never resent this work. And I said, and also I never sought it. I never sought this role. But I have to tell you, it feeds me like nothing I could have ever imagined. Right? Because I get to handle situations that I have never experienced before, and I bring my whole consciousness and the unity teachings to it, and it grows me as a leader. I get to watch some of the best leaders in the country and the best ministers in the country lead the whole organization and work with them, and I learn every day things I didn't know how to do before, and I bring them all back here to us. Thomas, who's not here at the moment, but he's one of our AV techs and our web designer, knows this because I sit on weekly meetings with him now going, we're going to copy their website. And it's like, no, we're going to copy their website because they have the research team and they know why they're designing it that way. And they know what's going on and they can spend the money and we can just piggyback on it. And those kind of things I would have never occurred to me, and I have access to them now because I said yes to the unexpected good. I don't get paid a penny, and it blesses me tenfold. It is my service to unity. It is my service to the organization. And this is my favorite line about it. When your good comes to you in a form you never thought it should look like, when your good comes to you in a way that is not what you visioned and manifested, is most likely a sign that it is from spirit and not from your ego. Right? So when the partner shows up and he or she doesn't look like you thought they would, or when the job shows up and it wasn't what you had in mind for the right and perfect job for you, or the right and perfect home for you, stop for a second and open yourself and go, is this something that will bless me or stretch me and lift me to a different place? Because 10 years ago, I couldn't imagine it. Guess what? I can imagine it today. I can imagine it. I know what blessings and benefits I get from it. I know what value I bring. Wow. I know what value I bring to a board of directors. That's so different from the Ken from 10 years ago. And the Ken from 10 years before that, who couldn't leave his house because he was so scared to face and couldn't what was out there and couldn't look in the mirror because of the abuse he was inflicting upon himself. My family was all there at my ordination in New York a decade ago, cheering and laughing and celebrating with me. We had a huge party with jambalaya, just like we're going to have today, you know? And they were, to say, a little skeptical of me becoming a minister at first, would be putting it mildly. Right? As I said too, I don't know if I can become a minister. I've slept with too many people. You know? No. So that was the Ken of then. The Ken of today is monogamous and loves it. The Ken of today has children who are the light of his life. The Ken of today loves being your minister. You give me so much. Thank you, Marty. Every interaction with you is a blessing to me, and I learn things, and I grow, and I am delighted to serve you. That's what a difference has transformed my life, because I said yes. What is yours to say yes to? What is yours to do? I say this in different ways every week, it seems, right? Whether you're retired or whether you're just starting your career, there is something pulling at you. My career today is just the same as it was when I was in show business. I don't mean that facetiously. When I would stand on the Broadway stage before I would perform, every day I would have a little moment of prayer and I'd dedicate my performance to shifting something for the audience. And I remember specifically when I was doing Fiddler on Broadway, that show is about going through life's hardships and how your attachment to the divine, your communication, your reliance on the divine gets you through that. Well, that's what I do today. There's music, there's words, there's an audience. And there's a back and forth here that I didn't get in New York. There's a chance to learn from you in a way I never learned from the audience in New York. And for that reason, it's 10 times, 100 times better. So I invite you today to look at the 4 steps of manifestation. To name, to stand up in your dominion, as Meeson and I like to talk about, and claim your good. I vowed to hold this trust sacredly, right? And I'm delighted to reaffirm that vow here today. I took incremental steps along the way to get here. I continue to take incremental steps to be a better minister, a better man, a better human being for each and every one of you, and for my family and my husband. I share this journey now on the internet with the world, with you individually. And I expect the unexpected. There was some real irony today. Spring forward, nothing was working. The cameras weren't working. One of our singers got sick. There was something else that had gone wrong. And there was like this cacophony of changes. And it was like, and Misa's singing Everything Must Change at the beginning. It's like, huh. And I was like, oh yeah, this usually triggers me. And it is triggering me right now. And I took a deep breath and went, it's all in divine order. Right? And I went up to Elizabeth, who was leading meditation, and said, they're going to be working through your meditation because we don't have cameras right now. And now we have cameras. They're working. So everything is here for our highest and our best. I know each and every one of you are the divine expression, a magnificent expression of divine energy, here on this planet for a specific purpose. And you're here not to let someone else do it, but for you to do it, whether that be small, one-on-one, or something global. I invite you to say yes to that calling today. I invite you to say yes to the infinite possibility and watch what a difference a decade can make. Let's take that to our time of meditation. Misa and the music team's going to come up, and they're going to sing a song that you may all know, slightly different version of it. It's Imagine by John Lennon. But I want you to imagine nothingness too. Imagine the place of infinite possibility. Ladies and gentlemen.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people
wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of humans. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine, imagine. Can you imagine? Imagine. Can you imagine? Imagine.
Right here in this place, this chair holds you, and or below it holds you. I invite you to go on this journey with me of infinite possibility, this journey for the next decade. You see right now at the center of your being a small ball of golden light, and emanating from you into the cosmos, this light now travels, and you go along for the ride, whether you take it by the hand or you just float with the light. I invite you to go on a journey. 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 years into the future. 10 years from now, my children are teenagers or in their 30s. Where are you 10 years from now? You land in this place. Is it lush? Is it an urban landscape? Is it a building? Wherever you land, you meet yourself there. You see coming up from a short distance someone who looks beautifully familiar. And in that moment, you get to see yourself 10 years from now. You bow in reverence, for this future self is here for you, pulling you from the pain of the present to the possibility of the future, the tomorrow that is yet to unfold. And in this moment, you choose to ask your future self one question. Just one. It could be, what do I need to do more of? What do I need to do less of? Or what do I need to know? Right now, in the silence, commune with the wisdom of your future self. and you see the light starting to pull you back. So whatever it is that you've heard or know from this encounter, I invite you to say it to yourself again, so when you come out of your meditation, you can write it down and remember it. Mine was to be organized so I can relax. Whatever yours is, I invite you to hold that gem of wisdom close to your heart, to journey back now to this time and place, to this room, where we say yes every week, to this community, where we serve with pleasure, where we receive abundantly, and where we grow exponentially. We come to this time and place so that we too can be with each other, support each other, cheer each other on. And of course, dance together.
Imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one. Can you imagine? Imagine. No. Can you imagine? Imagine. There it is. Sing it like you mean it. Can you imagine? Imagine. Somebody say yes. Can you imagine? Imagine. Yeah, say yes. Can you imagine? Imagine. Yes. Can you imagine? Imagine. Can you imagine?
Yes! 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 Woo! Tyler Kruger.
Ah, delicious. Let's just breathe for the moment that we have created this energy together in this room with our faith, with our hearts. One of the things that we do here at Unity San Francisco is set an intention. We practice using our divine consciousness to set in motion our choice. So I'd invite you to look at a spiritual connection card. There's some suggestions for phrases to see which ones ring true for you. And if you like them, then check them off. We're going to drop this in the offering basket in a little bit. But there's choices to set in motion your decision-making power. The first one, name and claim your good. We also can choose right now, I choose to take baby steps along the road of your dreams. or choosing to share your journey with others, like Ken said, with trusted others, to step out in courage and to share that dream with others. And the fourth one, to expect the unexpected, to keep that lens open, even though we set intentions today for the future, keeping that lens open. There's a space there to write your own intention, or you can write down a prayer request, or like in Ken's meditation, asking your future self for a piece of advice that would help you along the way. Now, another thing that we do here is we share these practices in the offering basket if you like. You can also take home the bulletin, write down what your future self said, but also those 4 intentions are right there in the bulletin. Take that home with you, put it on the fridge if you want, to remind and to recommit throughout the week. But in the offering basket, you leave it there. Ken and Deanne will read this, and they will take that moment to agree with you again that the things you set in motion are already happening with you, for you, in you, and as you. Yes. So it's a power of agreement again with these intentions. And then we also decide to give of our time and our talent and our treasure to Unity San Francisco. There's a variety of ways to do so. There's a white offering envelope in the chair in front of you, and you can give your offering in that way. If you're viewing with us online, there's a donation button or a link in the chat, on the chat room on YouTube and Facebook and here on Zoom. And ways to share your love with Unity San Francisco. You can always send us a check to our beautiful spiritual home right here at 240 Page Street. And let's invite Reverend Ken up to talk about giving to Unity.
Thank you. So JD and I, he stepped out to help with the kids for a minute, but JD and I are tithing members here, which means we give 10%. We give 10% of our income to where we're spiritually fed. Unity San Francisco is one of the main places that receives 10% of our tithe. And we have always done that. I was doing it before I met JD. He was doing it separately, and we came together, so it was an easy conversation. I understand that's not an easy conversation in some households, or even with ourselves some days. But let me explain why 10% and the tithe is so important to us. As I told you, I showed up with a couple bags at Unity Village, and I had enough money from that last show to pay for 1 semester of school. My church in New York that ordained me called me while I was there for that 1 semester and gave me a full scholarship, books and all tuition costs while I was there for the rest of my time. Right doors opened easily. I didn't have to worry about how I was going to make tuition. It was covered for me, and they did it as part of their tithe. They tithed it forward and asked nothing in return other than I do the same. So as long as I've been the minister here, we have tithed to some ministerial student in some form or other, and she seems to have stepped out of the room. Reverend Elizabeth is going to be the next one as she goes on a new journey to be a spiritual counselor, a spiritual direction counselor in Unity and getting her Unity. We also paid for Reverend Deanne's education and ordination, and we keep paying it forward. So I get to serve here because someone else did that and created this space for me. We have the incredible music team we have because someone left us a quarter of their estate and we were able to pay for the extra musicians. And everything we do is based on tithing, on the giving. Every chair you're sitting on, those were given by someone as part of their tithe. The windows are part of someone's tithe. The chandelier is part of someone's tithe. Everything you are witnessing is that. And when we consciously and joyfully step into that practice of giving, the receiving is just monumental. Is monumental. Look what you've received today because someone's given it to you freely and joyfully. That's the joy of giving for me. And that's why I continue to do it. Even when it gets tight, even when bills mount up, the first 10% for me is back to where I'm spiritually fed, because the abundance just keeps coming. And there will always be obstacles in the way, but there's also always a solution. So I know this affirmation. I created it, so I should know it. I give with abundant love and joy. As I give, I receive. As our ushers come forward, they're going to get ready to take your offering. And whatever you're giving today, whether it's your time, your talent, or your treasure, I want you to do it joyfully. So let's know this affirmation together. Wait for 1 second, Noel. Let's do the affirmation all together. Wait a minute. Can you stay where you are? Frank, Noel, you're going to stay down here. But let's say the affirmation together. I give with abundant love and joy. As I give, I receive. And so it is. Yay. Hey. Now I'm going to invite Misa back up to work with me. So join us for Sunday service. The world is changing so fast. Last week I said my new affirmation, happy end of COVID. Happy end of COVID. Now, if you didn't read my blog this week, I'm not in denial. I know we haven't eradicated COVID from the planet, but the world keeps shifting and everything is changing. The city of San Francisco no longer requires proof of vaccination for groups our size. So we are not checking vaccinations at the door. If you are not vaccinated and you're here, we ask that you remain masked, right? And you're welcome to come. We'd love to have you here. And if we also have our wonderful online service, so both in Zoom room and on the internet. You can join us any way that works for you, but we want you to come join us on Sunday and partake in what we have here. Yeah?
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the ways you can join us, we have a beautiful program of workshops and classes that will help you to learn and lean into these practices. The Affirmative Prayer Workshop is a perfect starting point if you are new to Unity. You work with Reverend Deanne. April 2nd from 10 to 3 is the introduction, and she will give you the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of affirmative prayer.
And if you're thinking of going to the retreat, that's a requirement.
It's a requirement if you're going to the prayer retreat.
Right? That's a requirement for the prayer retreat.
Yep. So, and especially if you're interested in becoming a prayer chaplain as well. Mandatory attendance at the Affirmative Prayer Workshop and at the prayer retreat.
Yes. And next thing is our Easter service. So believe it or not, it's a month out. April 17th is Easter, and we will have been doing in-person services for a year.
One whole
year on Easter, because we reopened the doors and had people come back last Easter, and it's been phenomenal.
Well, not only that, but I don't know if you've seen in the news, a lot of other spiritual communities had spreaders, they had COVID outbreaks. We've had none of that.
Woo.
We have been a safe haven in the storm for a whole year. So that is absolutely something to celebrate. And our Easter service music, let me just say.
Well, yeah.
You thought today was good?
And the kids are about to come in, so I just want to give a shout out. If you have other kids you want to bring with us, we're having an Easter egg hunt in the little park across the street on Easter Sunday. So bring your kids and come for an Easter egg hunt. It'll be a blast. And we're going to do our flower wreath, and it's going to be off the charts.
It's going to be beautiful.
If you think our regular Sunday is something, wait till you see Easter.
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 Oh, yeah.
So we'll have some things for you to help share with your friends too for next week.
Yes. And again, we have lots of programs. We have our daily live meditation. So we have our beautiful morning sound meditation. So beautiful. That happens in the sanctuary before service from 10:15 to 10:45 a.m. led by Reverend Elizabeth or the prayer chaplains, depending. And then Monday through Friday, Reverend Deanne has her Peace in the Midst 15-minute Monday meditation from 12 to 12:15. Again, that's weekday, so that's Monday through Friday. So that's 6 days a week where you can reconnect and dial in and lean into your prayer practices. So no excuses.
Thank you to everybody who's made today's service possible.
Our prayer chaplains are holding
everybody.
space.
I just want to do the thank yous first, and then we're going to bless the children. There's so many people, the usher and greeters, our board members who stepped up today because Cleo is out, and so many things. Also, I just want to give a shout out. You never see them, how hard they work. The AV team, from the moment they got here today,
they are
give them
absolutely.
A standing ovation.
You don't understand what they went through today.
Yeah. We almost didn't have any live stream today, and they worked from the second they got here, and we did music, and they worked diligently so that we had live stream for the people.
Pulling it together.
They pulled it off.
The magic behind the curtain, our AV
Yay,
team.
our AV team is just astonishing. So let's bless the children.
Come on, babies.
Come on up, kids. Woo!
So many beautiful babies.
Whoa, whoa, wow.
Woo!
Come on up.
Dorian.
Come on up, spread across. Yeah, hi, Joshua. Okay, all right. So, wow, this is a village. Hi, Rosalie.
babies.
Hey, say hi to everybody. Hi. All right. All right. So, I always have had the vision. We started, when I came here 9 years ago, we started blessing the children, and there wasn't a child in the house. But we started blessing them, knowing that as we did, we would attract them. As my son walks into the construction zone, as that is my farmer office. JD, I'll let you go get him. All right. So as I wrangle this horde, come here, Joshua. You come up in my arms. We have an affirmation that goes, you are God's perfect child, perfect expression of divine life. We love you, we see you, and we love you exactly the way you are. Can we all know that together for these kids? You are God's perfect expression of divine life. We see you and we love you exactly the way you are. Woohoo! And so it is. Okay, so you guys want to stay up here and dance? Yeah, you want to stay up here and dance? You don't have to.
All right, so
but,
we have an affirmation.
Yeah, you do this.
All right,
and
we
I'll
have
stay
a
with the
final
kids.
affirmation,
Stay
and
up
I
here.
gotta go. So, our affirmation, just in general, especially in light of what's happening in Ukraine and with Russia, and the people who, there are things happening even in this country, we all need to recommit to making sure that this planet, this living, breathing organism that we all occupy, is a safe, equitable place. So if we can all know this
Give her a hug.
with each other, know this together, I commit to creating a world of safety, equity, and equality.
Okay.
Are you going to tell them?
I'm going to tell them. So we have a song that all of you know, and we're going to sing it, but you won't know it anymore because Misa has completely reworked it. It's I Release, but you're not going to recognize it. Here, Misa, be ready to dance, though, okay? Ready? Here we go. Guys, come on, let's dance. Come on.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Does it seem nowadays that nothing goes your way and things just never turn out right? Like no matter what you do, it never works for you, and you've lost the will to fight. So first, let me say, there's a better way if you make a brand new start. There's good coming to you, and all you gotta do is open up your heart. Now stop and just breathe in. Quit the stinking thinking. Know that you have been abundantly provisioned. Trust and believe that you can receive it. Affirm this with me and say, I release and I let go. I release and I let go. I release and I let go. Oh yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I release and I let go. I release and I let go. Oh yes,
Someone